Hi everyone, I'm Bridget. I'm from the US. I love languages and travel, and right now I'm in Cambodia. This is my second video from Cambodia. Today we're heading to Siem Reap, which is a different city, also a different province, 5 hours away from Phnom Penh, where we've been staying. We're going to be in Siem Reap for a day and a half, and I will take you guys with me and hopefully use some Khmer, which is the language here. So let's go. My channel is about learning languages, or at least trying to, and I also film travel vlogs where I try to use my target language. And while my current focus has been Spanish, I briefly switched focus in order to learn as much Khmer as I could to prepare for my trip to Cambodia. And you can see in my previous videos everything that I learned in the span of 1 week, as well as my first vlog from Cambodia, where I was able to use quite a bit of Khmer, including doing things like negotiating a tuk-tuk price and ordering coffee. Young Tom Sat Khmer. Now we're heading north to see some more incredible things. I'm hopping in a tuk-tuk right now. We're on our way to go and see some hero rats. Knyom? No. Yung To Apopo. Can you say Kompung To? What? Young Kompung To Apopo. Apopo is an organization that is literally making the world a safer place by training giant African pouched rats to detect unexploded landmines that are left over from wars. Cambodia is one of the most landmine-affected countries in the world, and these explosives are incredibly dangerous and cause countless accidents to people, including children, who accidentally step on them. And fear of these landmines also makes it impossible for locals to safely use giant swaths of land. And so these hero rats, as they're called, save time and resources by sniffing out the explosive material under the surface and then directing experts to them. They're also light enough on the ground that they don't set off the explosives, and they only search for the explosive material, ignoring all scrap metal that, if you were using a metal detector, would needlessly divert attention and resources away from actual explosives. I'm going to leave a link in the video description if you want to learn more and help support the vital work that this organization and these hero rats are doing. And these hero rats are pretty big, but so cute. Hi, baby. The next day was the day I had been looking forward to since finding out that I would be visiting Cambodia. Welcome to Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat is a massive temple complex in Cambodia. It's considered the largest religious structure or monument on Earth. It was built as a Hindu temple in the 12th century and was eventually turned into a Buddhist temple. I walked around gazing open-mouthed at the iconic architecture of something I've heard about forever but never believed I'd get to visit, and I just kept thinking to myself, I cannot believe I'm at Angkor Wat right now. La'a, la'a. And Angkor Wat isn't even the only temple in the area. We're now arriving at Ta Prohm Temple. Ta Prohm doesn't even seem real, with these giant trees just blooming out of the temple itself. Ta Prohm was featured in the movie Tomb Raider, which I didn't really remember, but it's mentioned pretty much anywhere when you Google this temple. We also visited Ta Keo Temple, which had a lot of steep steps that gave me quite the workout, as well as the unforgettable Bayon Temple, with its many faces carved into the stone. Again, these places are so beautiful, you just sort of walk around in awe. Good morning. Right now we're at a floating village, which It doesn't look like it's floating right now because we're in the dry season, but as you can see, all of these houses are on stilts. Swasday! Bon chmua ai? Knyom chmua Bridget. Swasday! Ate akun. We're taking a boat ride through the floating village. It's called the Kompong Kliang Floating Village, and it's the largest floating village in the province of Siem Reap. Like I mentioned, this is the dry season, but depending on the season, the water level can rise and flood, hence the houses being high up, either on stilts or literally floating using buoys. I don't know if you can hear me. So this is the Tonle Sap. It's the largest freshwater lake in all of Southeast Asia. The sky is very gray right now, so the water sort of blends in with it. I saw some more floating houses off in the distance, but it didn't seem like the captain was taking us there, so I thought I'd try and practice my Khmer, but I don't think I asked it right. Yang Tau Dinu? Yang Tau Dinu? Ja? Watching this back, I probably needed a question word at the end or something, but it seemed like the captain understood what I was trying to say because he did bring us closer to the houses. This boat ride was another really memorable experience during the trip for me. It was just so interesting to see how people live their lives along the river and the lake. Akun Jrambong. Akun. Saksabai Art. ខ្ញុំសុខសប្បាយច្រើន4ជំនាញអង់គ្លេសអត់អត់ទេខ្ញុំជំនាញខ្មែរតិចប៉ុន្មានដុល្លារ2 $2 This one? Yeah អរគុណច្រើន Next, we drove the 5 hours back to Phnom Penh and made it back just in time for dinner, so here is me ordering food. Bye. Yeah. So, we're arriving at the ferry. I don't know if the audio is coming through. We've arrived at the ferry that's going to take us to Silk Island. That's right, another boat ride. And we're off. This ferry takes you across the Mekong River to what's known as Silk Island, where you can see a number of silk-producing operations. Cambodia has a long history of silk weaving, and efforts are underway to revamp this craft throughout the country. Our first stop was a small studio where we had our very first look at how silk is made from silkworms, then spun and woven into different patterns. I spoke a little bit of Khmer, and she asked me, how long I've been staying in Cambodia? She's like, 1 year, 2 years? And I said, no, it's this week. She said, oh, that's nice. And then someone asked, which is, what is your name? And I said, and she said her name, and then I was trying to think of how to say, nice to meet you, but it wasn't coming to me, so. We stopped to see a temple, which happened to be right next to a school with lots of kids outside. Bye. One more eye. Young more Bridget.
สบายใจจวบกวนแล้วอ๋อยอมมาคลีบูไปอเมริกจ้ากวนเย่อังกฤษกวนเย่อังกฤษเด็ดอังกฤษเด็ดยอมเย่อังกฤษno thank you. I couldn't try.
That right there was another top moment of the entire trip for me. We then went to the Silk Island community, which is a larger operation and tourist attraction. And the first thing we saw was a strange fish that's kept here as a pet. The worms here were much larger than at the previous spot, and you could really see the life cycle from moth to egg to worm to cocoon to silk.
And then they come out. And they want to stay on your hand because your hand warm and good. No 4 weeks.
This is so
The
unlike
4
me
weeks.
to allow this to be on my
Okay.
I'm
You
not
put
one
the
for
yellow
bugs.
one, put in the one.
Here's me just messing everything up.
Okay? But this thing is and don't get any. Start.
Is this okay?
Okay now. Okay? Now, see that? Look and back, okay? And stick more here. Okay? Like this.
You get to see a number of actual professional artisans at work, and you can also see the finished products.
Put on the shoulder and then put the palm. You try one.
Can we just hang out here? And here's another clip of me ordering at dinner. And then it was our last day. There was another passenger in our tuk-tuk, which was kind of a surprise. And we visited Wat Phnom, which is where the city of Phnom Penh actually gets its name. It was quite beautiful inside, some beautiful artwork all over the walls. While we were outside admiring this big clock, a giant bird swooped by us and it looked just like Jigsaw from the horror movie Saw. Tell me I'm wrong, but Google says it's called a wreathed hornbill. We just stood there watching it for a while. We then tried to visit Wat Unalam. There was a lot of construction going on. There seems to be some event happening right now. It looks like a lot of the buildings are closed off. But we just read online that there is a hair from Buddha's eyebrow that's somewhere here, and we're gonna see if we can find it. I wish that I had learned more Khmer. Like, I don't know how to say, is this open? May we go in? I can say maybe, I, there, yes. Knyom dinu ja, but that's about it. We're looking for Chen Cham.
Yes.
Where is that? The relic is below? Inside of it? Yeah. Akun Chan. So it was a little unclear if we saw the eyebrow hair. It may have been below one of the statues that we saw. They said the reason that a lot of the buildings are closed is because the king is coming tomorrow, so they are preparing for that. On our last night, we just wandered around, taking in the sights and sounds of Phnom Penh. appreciating what an amazing trip it's been. I am so grateful that I got to come visit and that I got to learn and use a bit of the local language. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up, leaving a comment, subscribing if you haven't already. It all helps my channel to grow, and I will see you in my next video.